process going on, the Democrats have unveiled 2 articles of impeachment against 45. Technically, they should have unveiled more articles. The 2 articles they brought up are the abuse of power and obstruction of Congress, are the charges of wrongdoing that lay out specific assertions of how the squatter violated the U.S. Constitution and the oath of his office. Each of the articles will be voted on separately by the Judiciary Committee later this week, possibly by Thursday. Those the panel approves will go to the full House for a vote, probably with a simple majority in the Democratic-controlled body on each article. Those that pass will be sent to the Senate, which must hold a trial. If 2/3 of the Senate or 67 senators vote to convict, 45 will be removed from office, and then the dumbass Mike Pence will become commander-in-chief, which we don't want either. The articles are drawn from the work of the House Intelligence Committee, which released a 300-page report on the investigation last week. Here is each article explained. The abuse of power is the first one. The allegations of abuse of power stems from 45's decision to withhold roughly $400 million of congressionally approved military aid from Ukraine until the country announced an investigation into former Vice President Joe Biden, a political rival. In a July 25th phone call, 45 pressured Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky to investigate Biden and his son Hunter, who worked for the Ukraine energy company Burisma Holdings. The favor, as 45 described it, was made despite a lack of evidence her son had engaged in corrupt activities, according to the House Intelligence report. Democrats allege the pressure 45 exerted on a foreign ally amounted to an unconstitutional use of his office for political and personal gain by trying to wound a top opponent in a way that would help 45 win re-election in 2020. Judiciary Chairman Jared Nadler, who's a Democrat from New York, said the squatters sought to obtain an improper personal benefit while ignoring or injuring the national interest. 45 and his GOP allies have dismissed the allegations, saying the aid was released and Ukraine never made an announcement to investigate the Bidens. In addition, they point to Zelensky's statements that he never felt pressured to act in exchange for the aid. 45 says Zelensky's denial is proof that he has done nothing wrong with respect to Ukraine, and their interactions are called bullshit. Obstruction of Congress. The allegations of obstruction are based on 45's lack of cooperation with the House inquiry, including defying subpoenas for documents and testimony. White House counsel Pat Cipollone wrote in an October 8th letter to Pelosi and other House leaders that the inquiry is being conducted in a manner that violates fundamental fairness and constitutionally mandated due process. But Democrats say the decision to withhold documents and prevent witnesses from testifying as part of the Ukraine probe violates the fundamental check and balance system between the branches of government and the country's founders said was vital to the republic's survival. The White House prevented a number of mid-level and top staffers from testifying, in part because the process wouldn't allow the squatter to call or cross-examine witnesses. 45 tweeted last month he wanted people to testify but was fighting for future squatters in the office of the squatter by not letting them appear before Congress. The D.C. wolves and fake news media are reading too much into being forced by courts to testify before Congress. I am fighting for future squatters in the office of the squattancy. No, you're not. Other than that, I would actually like people to testify. Don McGahn's respected, despite this directive not to appear, and several administration officials did testify under subpoena. The intelligence report said 45 intimidated witnesses who appeared before the Intelligence Committee as part of the inquiry by questioning their patriotism and subjected them to mockery. Yep.